We're so excited to have you with us today. I'm Mia Griffin, this year's Balkan Voices Tournament co-coordinator.
And I'm Nedjalko Panayotov, this year's Content and Media Strategy Coordinator. We're thrilled to be your host tonight for this fantastic showcase brought to you by the Bulgarian English Speech and Debate Tournaments Foundation, also known as the BEST Foundation.
Established in 2013, BEST provides the English language learners of Bulgaria a chance to come together and pursue personal growth through English language speech and debate. BEST aims to empower students to think critically, express themselves creatively, and create a dynamic community that truly cares about the success and future of Bulgaria.
This event is more than just a performance showcase. It's a chance to witness the incredible talent of Bulgarian high school students who participate in our tournaments and the impact speech and debate is making in the Bulgarian academic system. We're going to see some of the best our students have to offer, and trust me, you don't want to miss a single moment.
That's right. And you, our audience, have a very special role today. Not only will you enjoy some amazing performances, but also get to support our mission of promoting creative expression and civic engagement through the power of speech and debate. This event is free to watch, but we encourage you to show your support by donating whatever you can to help these talented students continue to shine. Please find the link for the tax-deductible donations in Global Giving in the comment section and show us your support.
But before we dive in the live performances, we have a very special guest to kick off the event. Please welcome to the stage the Executive Director of the BEST Foundation, Vanya Zlateva.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's truly a privilege to welcome you all tonight to our fundraising event in support of BEST Foundation Speech and Debate Tournaments. I would like to personally thank each of you for being here and showing your commitment to a cause that is close to our hearts, empowering students through speech and debate. Your presence here shows that you not only value the power of speech and debate, but also believe in the transformative potential it has for young people across the country. Speech and debate tournaments are more than just academic competitions. They provide students with essential life skills like critical thinking, communication, leadership, and confidence. These are the skills that shape the next generation of leaders and change makers. They help young people find their voice, articulate their ideas, and engage with the world around them in a meaningful way. I've seen firsthand the impact that speech and debate can have on students' life. It gives them the courage to stand up for what they believe in, the tools to solve complex problems, and the ability to navigate difficult conversations. Whether it is a shy student who blossoms into a confident speaker or a future lawyer who discovers the passion for justice, these experiences are life changing. But as valuable as these opportunities are, the reality is that many students face financial barriers that prevent them from participating. One of our goals tonight is to collect donations to cover travel scholarships for the students. The same difficulties are met by our volunteer coaches, judges, and chaperones who dedicate their time and provide valuable feedback to the participants. That's where we and tonight's efforts come in. We're here this evening to make speech and debate tournaments accessible to all students, no matter their financial situation. Your generous donation will help us provide travel scholarship for students, ensuring that financial barriers don't stand in the way of their success. But it doesn't stop here. Your support will also cover travel, food, and accommodation for the volunteer judges and chaperones who make these tournaments possible. The difference your donations can make is real and immediate. This evening, we have set a fundraising goal to ensure that no student is left behind to financial hardship and that every volunteer judge and chaperone is supported. Whether you are able to give a small or large donation, every bit counts. So tonight, I ask you to consider the impact your donation will have. You are not just supporting a program, you are giving young people the tools to find their voice, to stand tall, and to shape their futures. And you are making sure that the community of volunteers who make it happen can continue to do so with our gratitude and support. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for believing in these students, and for recognizing the power of speech and debate to change lives. Let's make tonight a night for hope, generosity, and opportunity. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Vanya, for those inspiring words. It's always incredible to hear about the impact that the Best Foundation has on students across Bulgaria. We're looking forward to building on that success tonight.
Definitely, Mia. And just to remind everyone, the night's event isn't just about watching some outstanding performances. It's about supporting our students and ensuring that they have the resources they need to continue growing. This year, with your help, we're aiming to reach our largest milestone ever since last year, $15,000. So you can find the link to donations in the comments in the chat.
That's ambitious, Nedelko, but I believe that we can achieve that goal tonight, together. This is a fantastic opportunity to ensure that our programs, like the Debate Summer Camp and the Student Leaders Community, continue to thrive. Every single donation counts and helps us reach our goal. Now, before we dive into our first performance, let's take a moment to introduce the incredible talent you'll be seeing tonight. Throughout the evening, we'll showcase 3 live performances: poetry, original oratory, and prose. Each of these students has worked hard to perfect their pieces, and we can't wait for you to experience the power of their words. Starting with original oratory, Isman Osman is an 18-year-old dynamic and driven student who thrives at public speaking and community service. Growing up in diverse communities, Isman learned early the importance of understanding different perspectives. Her empathy and desire to make a positive impact shaped her journey as both a speaker and a compassionate leader. Whether it's organizing community outreach programs or mentoring young students, Isman is always looking for ways to give back. Her vision for the future is clear. She wants to use her voice to create real change, advocating for those who are often overlooked, and ensuring that her passion for helping people remains at the heart of everything she does.
What do you associate summer with? While many envision swimming in crystal clear waters and basking in the sun, my summer took a different turn last year. Exploring Izmir, Turkey with my father, we visited the industrial site to meet his friend. Little did we know that this man was the employer of 50 Syrian refugees around my age. After witnessing the harsh conditions, they worked under the scorching August heat, lacking ventilation in an auto body shop where temperatures reached 45 degrees Celsius. Tore my heart. This moment was an excruciating realization of the enduring problem of child labor, which caused a shift in my awareness. I was hit by our reality off guard. Yes, since early childhood, the belief that we live in an unfair world has been ingrained in us. That's undeniable. And it seems to me that we are really good at tolerating it. Since when the situation of kids working their nails to the bone just to feed themselves has become our normal. Now that I think about that, I probably wouldn't be standing in front of all of you today calling attention to this barbarism if I hadn't seen it in reality. How funny is it? Because I was neglecting this ferocity towards children. Of course, I thought that I didn't have to be the one to raise awareness, assuming others would step up if I didn't, right? Well, it was high time I did my research and gained more knowledge on this topic. I was utterly shocked by the indifferent response I received when I shared my concern with a group of women whose main focus was endless shopping at Primark. Keep that in mind. This brand is notorious for their disregard of labor rights. They were so oblivious to the consequences of their consumer habits and apathetic because the issue didn't directly impact them and they clearly benefited from cheap clothing. It boiled down to a simple truth. Those women prioritize their personal gain without ever acknowledging the human cost behind their purchases. The use of children as servants or apprentices has existed in every period of history. Even before the agricultural revolution, children didn't grow up unfamiliar with the work done in the community, from harvesting crops to animal care, clothing production. Children work side by side with the grown-ups. With the onset of the Industrial Revolution in England in the 18th century, there was a rapid increase in the industrial exploitation of child labor. It definitely wasn't a good time to be a kid in England back then, because you would have to work 15 hours each day. If you were lucky enough not to die or become disabled, you would have to deal with osteoporosis or cancer caused by diseases such as rickets due to vitamin D deficiency. All of this valuable and terrifying information I learned from a discussion with my history teacher. Well, looking from today's perspective, how were these soul-damaging practices allowed back then? The lives of kids working in factories weren't easy. They had no importance in the eyes of their employers. But why did the factories want to employ the little ones? And how was it possible to find a job for everyone? Well, the kids were obedient, fast, and agile. Moreover, just filling their stomachs was enough for them to work. All jobs could be done for nominal wages, and in addition to all of this, the situation of their parents was also devastating. They were facing severe hunger. For this reason, every parent had to work then, just like today, and this made it impossible to take care of children at home. Yet, there is no change. Child labor is a social and economic norm that hasn't ceased and continues worldwide. According to the US Department of Labor, this phenomenon is particularly common in the African country Cameroon, where children wander the landfill sites in search of scraps, iron, being exposed to a variety of dangers. Both parents and their children are aware of the dangers of such tiresome and unsanitary activities. However, this is an obligation rather than choice. Even though juveniles know they are not treated fairly, they still bend their efforts to contribute to their beloved and save them some effort. After all, half a loaf is better than no loaf for the family to meet basic needs and survive another day. The way I say it, child labor is a scandalous crime, since it affects the most vulnerable ones who are deprived from blissful childhood, free education, and health, instead of flourishing, enjoying their hobbies, and growing into responsible adults. Those kids are robbed from these opportunities and pressured to give up on their dreams. I believe that attitude towards children is a reflection of our inner selves and values as a society. Do you know how many kids have missed opportunities due to this ferocity? Statistics from the International Labour Organization indicate that 160 million children were affected by child labor in 2020, constituting almost 1 in every 10 children worldwide. Fashion industries often rely on child labor in developing countries to provide them with garments and accessories. Being forced to work in an unsafe environment and having their rights violated, those kids often face long-lasting, undesirable effects on their well-being. The hazards include chemical and dust exposure and excessive noise. It's utterly frightening, and under no circumstances should we underestimate it. All these statistics from September 2020 prove that child labor is still present, and rather than the minority, it affects the majority. The International Labour Organization aims to eradicate all child labor by the year 2025. Can it be done? Well, there's certainly a lot of work to do. Due to the complex issues involved, child labor requires a collaborative approach. Each actor in the fashion industry, including suppliers, garment workers, governments, and consumers, has a role to play. Well, this brings us to civic sense. I believe that one shouldn't lull their senses to problems, but think reasonably and decide how they can contribute to the solution of the issue in order to become a real member of civil society. We depend on each other to survive. That's why the right thing to do is unite and empower. We need to realize that we are capable of turning the pages over and raising voice for those who cannot make themselves heard. Not only do the choices we make affect our present and future, but the world's population. Now, everything is up to us. Which side do we take? Apathy or compassion? Whether we're a team or not. As conscious consumers, we can make a difference by holding brands accountable. It is crucial to demand genuine transparency and third-party audits that verify compliance with regulations, ensuring they are free of conflicts of interest. We, the consumers, we have the power to fight against child labor. We can support responsible brands by prioritizing protection, adequate working hours and salary, and healthcare. Brands such as Kuyuchi, Honest Basics, Parker Clay, and People Tree championship those ethical practices. But on the flip side, consider companies like Gap and Primark, as previously mentioned, known for disregard of their labor rights. Now, the clock is ticking. If we aim to have child labor eradicated by the year 2025, we exactly have 97 days from this moment on. After careful consideration, I prefer a world where children can enjoy their precious childhood without the burden of labor. I am ready to work towards making this change with the time we have left. So, I ask you one final question. Will you join me? Thank you.
Wow, what an incredible start of the evening. Let's give another round of applause for Isman and her powerful performance.
Absolutely stunning, Isman. And this is just the beginning. If you were moved by her words, now is the perfect time to show your support. Remember, you can donate through the link in the chat. Your contribution helps us continue providing platforms for talented students like Isman.
And every donation brings us one step closer to 15,000 US dollars.
Now seems like a great time to introduce a segment we like to call Success Stories from BEST, where we highlight community members whose growth and impact on the organization deserve to be talked about.
Indeed, and I'm very excited to introduce our first success story of the night, a longtime fighter on Team BEST and a personal friend of mine, Samuil Modenov. Sami is a third-year student at the American University in Bulgaria, part of the BEST community for 7 years now. He started as a participant in 2017 when he was in 8th grade, participated in poetry and duo. And after that, he took multiple other positions: student leader intern, tournament administrator, and lastly, project manager. Now, Sami is an intern at the Data Science and AI department at the PwC in Bulgaria. He's a friendly, welcoming person who loves cats and has a lovely ball python called Calypso. From this year, you'll be able to see him as a judge.
Hi besties, I'm Samuel Modenov, also known as Sami, and I am here to tell you my success story, even though I think I'm still on the path of building it. If I have to tell my best story right, I would actually start from middle school. Back then, I was not the best student out there. If I have to describe myself as an academic weapon, I would probably be a rusty dull knife that you can't do much with. But then something magical happened. I joined the best team. My mother still calls that day one of the best days of her life. I don't know why. I actually became more ambitious, more hardworking. It helped my English and public speaking skills. I became a better student and a better person. For 3 years, I was a participant, two of which I was a student leader, and in my second year, I won the Community Project of the Year award. But then something terrible happened. COVID-19 pandemic. Nationals and two more tournaments got cancelled, and even though those were pretty harsh times for foundation and for us, I decided to join the management team. I was a student leader intern in my 11th grade. COVID was still roaming, and ETS had to go back home because it was not safe for them. The only members of the management team were actually the Bulgarian residents, and we were not allowed. Even though those hardships and that we were a small team, we successfully hosted online tournaments which kept the best spark alive until we could go back to normal. During that time, I got trained as a tournament administrator, which was my role in 12th grade, when we hosted our first in-person tournament in the American University in Bulgaria, which, funnily enough, I applied to a couple of months before the tournament. I got accepted. I got a higher scholarship because my extracurricular activities mainly best, and currently I am a student at that university. In my first year, I was again the tournament administrator, and in my second year, I became the project manager alongside Terry. And here we catch up with current events. Now I am in my third year in the university, and I am no longer part of the management team. But I still think I am an active member of the community. But even though my time in the management team came to an end, my success story outside of it did not. Currently, I am the president of the IT and Entrepreneurship Club here in AUBG, the Hub, and also I am an intern at PwC's Data Science and AI department. So, if I have to describe best in a few words, I would say magical and life-changing. And besties, you're presented with a great opportunity to become a great person. So grab it and hold tight. And don't be scared to shoot for the moon. Thank you.
People like Sammy really make our job worth all the effort. You know, Nadyalka, one of the most rewarding parts of being involved with the Best Foundation is seeing the way that these performances inspire not just the audience, but the students themselves. It's a reminder of how powerful speech and debate can be in helping young people find their voices.
Absolutely, Mia. It's the same power of expression that drives our programs like the annual debate summer camp, where students from all over Bulgaria come together for a week of learning, growth, and fun. It's an essential part of what we do. It helps build confidence, leadership skills, and lifelong friendships.
And thanks to generous donations like yours, we're able to keep offering these life changing experiences. So, whether you're donating because you loved Isman's oratory or because you believe in the transformative power of speech and debate, know that your support makes a real difference.
Speaking of making a difference, we're about to introduce our next performer. But before we do, we want to take a moment to hear from you, our amazing audience. To our community, tell us in the chat, what are the strongest impressions from Best so far?
And now, let's keep this momentum going. It's time for our second performance of the night. This one is going to be a real treat, a prose piece that's sure to captivate you from start to finish.
Let's turn the spotlight to a true triple threat, Tatiana Vaikova, a legend across not one, not two, but three categories, duo, prose, and poetry. She has been with us since 2020, and right now she's planning to come back as a judge. When Best is not around the corner, she spends most of her time either in the theater, acting, or in her room, creating art that leaves everyone speechless and wondering about the meaning of life. Duo holds a special place in her heart, but prose interpretation is what makes her go wild. Being able to provoke different feelings in the audience's hearts is what she's best at. Driven by curiosity for the darker, more complex aspects of the human nature, she decided to present to us Blood of a Mole by Zdravka Eftimova.
Few customers visited my shop. They watch the animals in the cages, but seldom buy them. For hours I stare at frogs, lizards, snails, and insects. But soon I'll have to close my shop, and I'll be sorry about it, for the sleepy, gloomy smell of formalin has given me peace and an odd feeling at home. Look, a beautiful human heart pumping with blood. Not an ordinary blood, of course not, but a very special one. One that gives people so much hope that they become greedy and want more, and the most dangerous thing to want is more. Imagine being eaten alive by the people you so desperately try to help. One small drop of blood in the ocean can attract all the sharks from the deepest parts in the water, don't you think? This is not a journey for the faint-hearted, for once you enter, there is no escape. I present you Blood of a Mole by Zdravka Eftimova. One day, a small, strange woman entered my room. She approached me, her arms trembling, unnaturally pale. She did not look at me, nor did she say anything. It seemed she had not come to buy lizards or snails. "Have you blood of a mole?" she asked. Then I saw her eyes. They resembled old torn cobwebs with a little spider in the center. The pupil. Moles? I had to tell her I had never sold moles in the shop, and I had never seen one in my life. The woman wanted to hear something else. I knew it by her eyes, by the timid stir of her fingers that reached out to touch me. "I have no moles," I said. She turned to go, silent and crushed. Her steps were small and uncertain. "Wait! Maybe I have some moles." Her body jerked. There was pain in her eyes. I felt bad because I couldn't help her. I was scared. I could feel something evil lurking in the dark. "Are you ill?" I asked. "My son is ill." Her transparent eyelids hid the faint, desperate glitter of her glance. She remained motionless. She turned to go, small and frail, her back hunching, her steps noiseless. "I'll give you blood of a mole," I shouted. The woman stopped in her tracks. It was unbearable to look at her. But the eyes of the lizard sparkled like pieces of broken glass. I didn't have any mole's blood. I didn't have any moles. I closed the door so that she could not see me. Then I cut my left wrist with a knife. The wound bled slowly and oozed into a little glass bottle, drop by drop. Drop by drop. After 10 drops had covered the bottom, I opened the door to where the woman was waiting for me. "Here it is," I said. "Here's the blood of a mole." She didn't reply, just stared at my left wrist. The wound still bled slightly, so I thrust my arm under my apron. The woman glanced at me and kept silent. She did not reach for the glass bottle. Rather, she hurried towards the door. I overtook her and forced the bottle into her hands. She fingered the transparent bottle, and the blood inside sparkled like dying fire. Then She took some money out of her pocket and threw them on the counter. Then the shop was empty again. The eyes of the lizards still glittered like white pieces of broken glass. Cold, uneventful days slipped by. I could not forget that woman. I'd lied to her. No one entered my shop, and in the quiet dusk, I tried to imagine what her son looked like. One morning, the door of my shop opened. The same small gray woman entered, and before I had time to greet her, she rushed and embraced me. Tears were streaking her delicately wrinkled cheeks. The woman grabbed my left hand and lifted it up to her eyes. The scar of the one had vanished, but she found the place. Her lips kissed my wrist. Her tears made my skin warm. "He walks," she whispered. "He walks!" It was so cozy in my dark shop, and in the smell of formalin made me dizzy with happiness. My lizards were so beautiful, and I loved them as if they were my children. In the afternoon of the same day, a strange man entered my room. "Have you blood of a mole?" His eyes piercing through me. "No, I haven't. I have never sold moles in here." "Oh, you have. 3 drops, please. My wife will die. 3 drops, please." My blood trickled slowly from the wound, drop by drop, drop by drop. The man held a little bottle and the red drops gleamed in it. Then he left a little bundle of banknotes and rolled it on the counter. On the following morning, a great whispering mob of strangers waited for me in front of the shop. Their hands clutched little glass bottles. "Blood of a mole, blood of a mole." They shouted, shrieked, and pushed each other. Everyone had a sick person at home and a knife in his hands.
What an incredible performance! Let's give one more big round of applause for Tatiana. That was truly moving, and such a perfect example of the talent we have here at Best.
Yes, absolutely. I'm always blown away by how our students can take a story and make it come alive. And if you felt as inspired by that performance as we did, please take a moment to donate. Your support helps ensure that students like Tatiana have the opportunity to continue sharing their voices.
And your support doesn't just help fund tournaments, it also supports our Student Leaders program, which trains Bulgarian high school students participating in BEST to become team leaders, mentors to younger students, and active servants in their local communities.
Often, students who graduate the SL program get accepted into the YES exchange program and into universities such as the American University in Bulgaria, as well as many prestigious universities across the US. With more than 400 individual students graduating from our Leaders program, we ensure that local communities throughout Bulgaria are also taken care of, instilling a sense of responsibility within our youth by having them develop and organize socially responsible projects.
These leaders mentor younger students and serve as team captains to our tournaments. It's an amazing opportunity for them to develop their leadership skills and give back to their communities.
Absolutely inspiring. It's projects like these that show just how much impact our students can make when given the right tools and opportunities. That's why your donations are so important. They directly support programs that empower these students to make a real difference.
So, if you believe in the power of young people to create a change, well, by now you must know what I'm going to ask you to do. Donations in the link in the chat. And now it's time for our second success story of the evening. Svetlina Boynova is a student from the Maths and Science High School in Gabrovo, and when she was in 10th grade, she got a grant for an exchange year in the US. Sveti went to a high school in Indiana, and despite her year being a roller coaster of emotions, she made the most out out of it by making memories and friends for life. Back in Bulgaria, Sveti participates in debates at Best as part of the Aprilov national high school team.
Hello, my name is Svetlina and I started competing in best tournaments last year. If I have to say what I've seen for myself and others throughout this time, I would say that I've seen people growing so much and not only improving their creativity and public speaking skills and English, but also stepping out of their comfort zones and overcoming fears and facing challenges and really growing by experiencing best tournaments and best overall. And what I feel is one infinite hope, just because I see how bright young individuals there are in Bulgaria, and it has really shown me how knowing and how capable and talented people exist. And I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to be part of the best community.
Such an amazing story, Sveti. Thank you for sharing. And just before we move along to the next performance of the night, let's take a look at some of our organization's achievements from the past year. You know, Nadyalko, this year has been exceptional for the Best Foundation. One of our biggest highlights was when 4 of our talented debaters participated in the Rightopia Online International Debate Tournament in January, and they took home first place.
That's incredible. Competing against top teams from the UK, USA, and South Africa is no small feat. A huge congratulations to their coach, Boris Pahomov, and our amazing students.
We've also seen a 25% growth in participants at our in-person tournaments, showing that more students than ever are discovering the power of speech and debate. Plus, our student leadership program grew by 26%, with 42 students leading impactful community projects across Bulgaria.
And let's not forget about the online mini debate tournaments, the cups, which gave our students more chances to compete and improve. It's been an incredible year, and we're so proud of everything our besties have achieved.
And these achievements are only possible with your support, so let's keep this momentum going. A big thank you for all the amazing people that have been supporting us so far at this event. Athena Lau, Jake Campbell, Gabrielle Cassio, Kumi Griffin, and Morgan Rowe. We're thrilled to introduce our final performer of the evening, Ekterina Dincheva, with a heartfelt poetry piece titled Whispers of Your Brother's Blood and Unknown. Katie has been an active member of BEST for 5 years and is proud to be a part of, as she describes it, a one-of-a-kind community in Bulgaria. Her favorite categories are prose and poetry, but her most valued accomplishment is the 3rd place she won last year at Balkan Voices for Original Oratory, a category she had once promised herself she'd never try. This achievement stands as proof that amazing things happen when you step out of your comfort zone. Katie encourages everyone to dream big, work hard, and pursue their goals with dedication, and to always remember to believe in yourself.
Doing well. We should be live. Okay. Whew. Hi guys, I'm Katie, and I'm here to present to you my poetry piece, seeing as I mainly did prose and poetry at Best. This is a piece that I did on the last national tournament, 2024. And yeah, I hope that you can understand everything that I'm saying, since I am a little bit sick. I'm sorry. And I hope that you enjoy. All right, let's get into it. Cain stood over Abel and said, "Look where glory gets you." "For you, dear sower, who slew the saint," the Lord answered, "life shall be worse than death." I have a confession to make. I love to hate. Well, if we make the clarification that behind that hatred stands a passion for something greater, then I love to hate. Even so, I am fully aware of the damage that hate can do. The way that it can eat at you, slowly devouring you from the inside out. It bears a certain sense of righteousness and vengeance, yet there's also an air of isolation about it. Today, I will tell you the story of the first time that hatred ever was. This is Whispers of Your Brother's Blood by L.E. and Unknown by Hosier. I hope you hate it. There is something inherently human about being hated. The first death was a murder, after all, wasn't it? Sprouted from a glowing seed of jealousy and was reaped with the help of scalding water that said, "Your offering is only as worthy as you are." Maybe hatred is a two-way street of suffering. A dead-end road, an inevitable curse. Maybe hatred is human. Even what animals fear they don't necessarily hate. Not like this, never deep enough to take root. It is flesh and bone and conscious. It is a fallen countenance felt for the first time and never lifted. Festered into an ugly, ravenous feast, a wavering fist that never stilled. I wonder what Abel thought the first time when he caught the side of his brother's raised fist. If he hated. The voice of his blood cried from the ground, but what did it whisper? Remember when you showed me your field, Cain? Your crops and green so lush and living? Remember when I told you it was beautiful? When I told you, instead of biting back and letting the words fester. Then, roots were all grown up. So were we. I could never keep the plants alive the way that you did. You taught me, but I never learned. Your touch was gentle and mine was tough. You worked with dirt and water, and I worked with breath and blood. Ripe fruit rotted in my rugged palms, and thriving leaves languished at the touch of my fingertips. Both of our hands were dirty, but only mine were red, right? You never liked the sheep. You'd rather deal with wheat than wool. Didn't like cleaning up the mess after, and I never blamed you. It wasn't pretty. But then again, gore never is. You see, it's like loving. Scrubbing the scarlet from my weary arms and splashing cool water onto my burning skin. It's not always easy. It's not always perfect. It is a little vicious, a little brutal, and I don't always enjoy doing it. But that's just how it is. That's how it's always been. And I'll admit, washing away the remnants is always the toughest part. You looked at my face, but not at me. Something ailed you, and I wish you would have told me what it was. I would have listened, Cain. I would have followed you. Anywhere. And I did, right? Straight into your flowering field, straight into that desolate bed you made for me beneath it. You know, the distance never made a difference to me. I swam a lake of fire, Cain, and I would have walked across the floor of any sea. I would have ignored the vastness between all that can be seen and all that we were taught to believe. You were like an angel to me. You called me angel for the first time, and my heart leapt from me. You smile now. I can see its pieces are still stuck in your teeth. And what's left of it, I listen to it tick. Every tedious beat goes a note as any angel to me. You know, I could break beneath the weight of all the good that I still carry for you. I would walk so far just to take the injury of finally knowing you. I'm not the Lord Cain. I am your little brother, and I looked up to you. You were worthy in my eyes. Before you closed them anyway. You're finally above me, brother. Does glory taste different to you than it did to me? Thank you.
Wow, what a powerful and moving performance. Let's give one more huge round of applause for Ekaterina. That was
Absolutely.
breathtaking, and we are so honored that she shared her story with us tonight.
Ekaterina, thank you for being so brave and vulnerable. It's moments like these that remind us why the work we do at Best is so important. It's not just about speech and debate, it's about giving young people a platform to be heard, to share their truths, and to connect with others.
And for everyone watching, this is your chance to make sure that more students like Ekaterina have the opportunity to express themselves and grow through our programs. If you haven't donated yet, now is the time. We're getting closer to our $15,000 goal, and every single contribution helps us continue providing these life-changing experiences. For those just joining, you can find the global giving link for donations in the chat. And for those of you in the US, we want to remind you that these donations are tax deductible.
Remember, your donations tonight don't just support the students you've seen perform, they help hundreds of others across Bulgaria discover their potential, build confidence, and develop skills that will serve them for the rest of their lives.
We will be super grateful if you set up a new monthly donation, as this ensures that the impact you make is sustainable and reaches many generations of the best community.
We've seen some incredible talent tonight, and we want to thank you all, thank all of our performers, Tatiana, Isman, and Ekaterina.
And of course, we couldn't do any of this without the amazing support of our community. To all of our coaches, judges, volunteers, board members, and especially you, our audience, thank you for believing in our mission and helping us empower the next generation of leaders.
Before we wrap up, let's take a look at the comments you left because I'm really curious to find out what was your most memorable speech you have ever seen, or maybe some moments from being part of our community at Best. Right. So here we can see a comment from Camelia. I still remember the first debate tournament I participated in, thanks to the foundation. The skills I gained there not only boosted my confidence, but also helped me land my dream job as communication specialist. That's lovely to hear, honestly.
I'm reading another comment now from Teresa Todorova. The foundation didn't just teach me to debate, it helped me find my voice. I now use those public speaking skills daily in my role as a project manager and a future chemistry teacher. Glad to
Wow.
see the many different ways that speech and debate can be so useful in your professional and personal life.
We have one more comment from Desislava. The student leader program was defining for me. Thanks to the leadership qualities I gained during it, I was chosen to be the leader of a non-governmental organization, the Youth Parliament in Volgograd for 2 years. Wow, that's very impressive. Uh, if you're feeling inspired by what you've seen tonight, there is still a time to make a donation and help us reach our milestone.
And if you've already donated, thank you so much. Please consider sharing the donation link with friends, family, and colleagues who might be interested in supporting the incredible work we're doing here at BEST.
We also want to remind you that BEST is more than just tonight's event. We have a whole year of exciting tournaments, workshops, and community projects planned, and your ongoing support makes it all possible.
That's right. So keep following us on social media. You can see it right there. Um, stay tuned for updates and continue to be a part of this amazing journey with us.
And with that, we want to say a huge thank you once again for joining us tonight. You've made this event unforgettable, and we couldn't be more grateful for your support.
On behalf of everyone at the BEST Foundation, we wish you all a wonderful evening. Thank you for being a part of SummerSlam 2024, and we look forward to seeing you again next year.
Good night, everyone, and thank you for helping us make this year's SummerSlam the best one yet.